Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. What the heck is John's Watch, you're probably thinking, because it has been so long since the last one. It's a first impression series. I play about 20-ish minutes of a game, and that's the video. It's a good little way of kind of judging how easy a game is to get into from the first impressions. Anyway, today I'm taking a look at Sorcery Jokers. This is the all ages version available on Steam. There is a not all ages version available on Manga Gamer. It is published by Manga Gamer, developed by Third Eye, and it was released way back on January 12th, 2018. It's also $45.49 Canadian. It's probably around $40 US or your regional equivalent. And funnily enough, this is actually the very first full HD release from Manga Gamers, the only one, or the first one that came out at 1920 by 1080. So that's interesting, isn't it? Is it? I think so. Let's have a look at it. Update. Beneath a square cut out of the sky, between buildings towering on all sides. Filling that space were clinging shadows of just the sort you'd expect in a place with obstructed light. It's voiced, fantastic. At twilight, when dusk ruled, a figure bled into the shadows as if right at home. Though the pair searching for this figure were paying due attention, they went right past him without noticing his presence. It wasn't because of his appearance or because of their carelessness. Because he was a sorcery joker, but rather because he'd erased his very presence amidst the shadows, with his breath bated and his thoughts turned to the other world, making it unclear whether or not he was still human. So it was only natural they merely perceived him as part of the gaping darkness. That is a bit of a run-on sentence. Therefore, it'd be more appropriate to describe him as something like a shadow, or perhaps a reflection. A sorcery joker. Reflection. This reflection casually lent his eyes and ears to his surroundings, not shuddering even once in the chill around him. It was the season of frost. Countless tiny scars marred the back of the hand held up against his chilled ear. It would be no exaggeration to say that those scars marked the path the reflection had walked, his history carved into him. A hissing breath. In an instant, his eyes glinted like a beast hunting prey. His eyes could pierce even that which was invisible. I just noticed the text is centered. That's kind of different for a visual novel. Autocasto. Rip. Was there any meaning in the single clench of his fist? That was in fact all that transpired. Yet the transmission had been cut off before the culprit's features had been fully reported. I mean, he's got white hair, but it is Japan, so, you know, he might blend in pretty well. Transmissions were sent by a special method, a method both understood and widely used by the population at large. Magic. These transmissions, specially fortified against monitoring and interference, had with extreme ease been cut off by the reflection. Voices are quite quiet. We'll see if we can change that. He spat thus, while running fingers through his hair, which had lacked pigment since his birth. Showing no genuine concern for the matter, in the next instant he fled into the night. The reflection may have had an entry for impossible in his dictionary, but the phrase common sense was certainly not among its pages. I mean, you can tell it's been translated, it's very slightly still kind of been translated very literally, which is definitely one of the downsides of like translating Japanese to English. It's like a really good translation, they'll actually translate it to English like lingo, whereas some cases they just translate it like word for word literally, so you get kind of, it just sounds a bit off, you know. He was simply too far removed from the very concept of someone being pursued, as if his pursuer's attempts to apprehend him weren't the least bit inconvenient. Oh god, please stop those footsteps. He ran deeper and deeper into the alley. He ran with a regular form as if on a daily jog, breathing at a fixed rhythmic pace. But when a foul smell reached his nose, his feet stopped. That could just be, yeah, it's probably just Japanese streets. Some of them are quite smelly. Black garbage bags, a plastic bin. The season did nothing to disguise the fishy odor of the waste practically bursting from those bags. Whoa. Going by the information he sniffed out, the reflection surmised that the building he was behind housed a kitchen and stepped up to its back door with quiet composure. Bam! Sorcery jokers. Geometric patterns appeared like a hologram on the blank card he'd drawn just before arriving at the door. Bing bong. This was the first time the reflection had visited this place. The first time he touched the door, it opened up just like a magic trick. Oops. He moves through the confined kitchen with fluid agility. As the reflection slipped through the building to the front exit like a leaf on the wind, it took some time for the workers in the kitchen to exchange glances and come to the realization that he wasn't supposed to be there. Allowing his impressions to slip out was his one mistake. Paying no mind to the chef and his fit of anger over the missing plate of chicken, the reflection wiped away the sign of his respite from his lips. At this point, the reflection had already completed his escape. He'd managed to make it to a place devoid of pursuers. Perhaps his only want, as he sought complete safety, was to parch his throat. Bang! With quiet, leisurely footfalls, he stepped out onto the main street. Completely devoid of the hurry, nerves, or guilt of one on the run, he looked like nothing more than an average passerby, apart from his very white hair. Therefore, he'd made none of the sort of mistakes that would land him in any new trouble, and any drama he could encounter at this point would only be a product of coincidence or fate. Suddenly, a thunderous roar out of place on a quiet street made his feet stop. The reflection should have been nothing but an average bystander now, yet he stopped, unnaturally. The air and the space around him seemed to slant. He should have had barely any presence, but he now displayed an unusual concentration. He turned in the direction the sound had come from, glared around a corner, and a few seconds later... Baka. A man on the run appeared, his long hair waving in the wind. He continued running around the corner without looking where he was going, instead looking behind him as if he was being chased by a ghost while irritatedly clucking his tongue. Oi. Oi. Really, he wasn't watching where he was going at all. Upon noticing the reflection before him, the long-haired man quickly hit the brakes and managed to avoid a last-minute collision. He halted for a moment as if trying to decide between cursing and running. The Use your sorcery joker powers. Whoa! It's a very animated visual novel, it's cool. In that instant, a blazing fireball grazed their noses, burying itself into the ground far ahead of them. Blue dyed his vision until a form appeared within it. The asphalt was scorched by heat, easily surpassing its kindling point as a wall of blue flames loomed fiendishly before them. It's the magic police. The boy's heart was still as water, yet his gaze, completely free of misgivings, was raging hotter than flames. Anyone who saw it would know what the boy's uniform signified. The First National School for Higher Magic Education, more commonly referred to as the Academy. Trapped by walls of blue flame, the long-haired man reached out to the reflection, intending to take the convenient bystander hostage. However, the man who should have been there no longer was. Nothing up his sleeve. The reflection was already walking toward the boy when he was grazed by that fireball. He really was just walking. Normally, when fire erupts in one's vicinity, one would be unable to process the situation, shrinking away in dumbfounded terror. Normally, fire flying one's way would make one panic, would make one flee screaming. That's why he missed the reflection. He assumed he would still be beside him. That's how weak in existence the reflection was. The boy gave his eyes a little rub as he realized the bystander he thought had gotten involved, the reflection had gotten that close. As he passed, the boy felt the reflection's gaze in his arm. His ring, his magic license. He seems to show a bit of interest in the device, which is emitting a warning. It does not look like 2:23 at night, does it? It looks like it's... or 2:23 in the afternoon. The reflection turned his unaffected eyes to the distance and walked off, carrying himself like a spectre and clearly not intending to see the scene through to its conclusion. The boy's attention and unclouded gaze were focused solely on his opponent. A feverish conviction blindly governed his actions, the same heat as in the flame he specialized in controlling. Having lost any other recourse, the long-haired man took up a stance to begin drawing out his magic. Unlike with martial arts, which is standard forms depending on whether they emphasize offense, defense, or range, all magic users have a different stance. What's important is what the user feels they're in a position most suitable for their magic, something that just fits. Meow. The gust he unleashed created blades of air pressure that rushed at the boy. Oh! Oh, he's fucked. The boy was stopped by a wall of wind with no way to avoid its invisible attacks. Countless cuts grazed him before he could react. While not very lethal on their own, the shallow cuts had to be blocked with his arms so to avoid damage to more fatal areas like his eyes or neck, and the blood loss from the grazes would add up over time. The man had lied. Anyone level-headed would be able to figure out what the cornered rat's plan really was. The long-haired man was on the run, and his time was limited. The little slices served to draw the boy's attention while the man prepared for his fatal blow. Oops. The long-haired man focused his long-range attacks, bringing forth a new gust of unparalleled accuracy. Like trees felled to the necks, the streetlights to the right and left of the boy bent down toward him. At the same moment, the long-haired man set in motion his trap. He took off like a bullet, challenging the boy. It'd be simple for the boy to avoid the streetlights, but in that instant, the long-haired man could launch a point-blank attack of powerful magic. It's a reckless gamble, but one that's unexpectedly effective. Rather than careful plans, simple tricks like these are much more effective. The long-haired man was well aware of how important it is to be decisive in a fight. However, that idea, that logic, it required the balance of power between them to be close to equal. Kablam! Concentrating his 5 senses in the palm of his hand and releasing it, that was the boy's most effective way to utilize his magic. A wave of heat erupted from the hand he'd slammed to the ground, warping the streetlights that threatened to crush him. The poles bent like wires, falling down on the long-haired man who'd been trying to take the boy's flank. Oh, fuck! He avoided them in the last moment, but unluckily for the long-haired man, he'd only dodged the after effect of the boy's attack. Noises he wasn't used to hearing, crushing, smashing, burning noises, rushed past him. Blue flames drew welts behind them as they rushed through a concrete sea, as if an embodiment of the boy's conviction, as if a melody of destruction. Completely stripping the well-paved road, the blue flames swam their way through the ground and brushed the long-haired man's toes. It was all too late for him. The flames flared up around the long-haired man as if to drown out his death cries and proudly did their work. Rip.
内なる絶望、不変の理想、夢とうつつ。
バカ野郎！お前は何度言ったらわかるんだ。
Is this like a detective or something? It's a natural thing for a father to scold his son, and at times when it could even be interpreted as an expression of love. That's why Dad reprimanded me in harsh, though quieting tones, even amidst all the sirens and watching eyes. Oh, now we're voicing the boy, I guess. I'm sorry, Dad. I'll apologize for my use of magic.
自分の目と口くらい歩調を合わせておけ。
Both innocent children and proud politicians need to apologize honestly for doing wrong. That said, I didn't particularly like the idea of being criticized for my judgment. Sure, it was wrong to break the rules, but at the time I'd been the only one around to make sure they were being followed. While it's against the rules to use magic outside of the academy, the culprit left me no choice. I tricked this to go up against a person with a gun empty-handed, and that goes double for an outcast without a ring. Depending on how you use it, magic can be far more dangerous than a gun, and that's why mages like us dutifully wear the rings administered to us by the government.
緊急時において危険を回避するための魔法使用は罰せられない。だからといって毎回面倒ごとに首を突っ込む必要はないだろう。
It wasn't the first time we'd had an exchange like this, which is why Dad sighed in the same resigned way as he had last time. People were in danger because of that outcast. Nobody else was around, so I was the only one who could have done something about him. Of course, I don't want to go out of the way to put myself in danger, but I can't just turn a blind eye to something happening right in front of me.
そういうのは俺たちの仕事だ。学生は勉強が本分だろう。そういえばこの間も授業で誤ってアカデミーの塀に穴を開けたらしいじゃないか。
Man, I just want to get to the academy. Ugh.
それにこの前のテスト、まだ報告を受けていなかったはずだが。
Huh? Well, I did fine. Yeah, fine.
目が泳いでるぞ。刑事の俺を騙そうなんて100年早いと思え。
Fucking knew he was a detective. Suddenly the tables are turned. It's all because I tried cramming before the test by pulling an all-nighter, but was thoroughly defeated by sleepiness instead. How truly terrifying is this enemy of mine, the Sandman? It was my responsibility to stand up for myself after losing that battle, but even I could tell how obviously I was avoiding meeting Dad's gaze. As I uselessly racked my brain for reinforcements, help came from an unexpected outside source.
まあまあ、ユージさん。それくらいで許してあげたらどうですか？
Finally a girl.
小比類巻きか。被疑者の搬送は終わったのか？
Kohi what?
はい。ついさっき護送車に乗せて出発しました。
そうか。ならバーストに撤収命令を出しておいてくれ。俺は現場担当の人間と話してくる。
Dad put out a cigarette in a portable ashtray.
アルト、お前には署で話を聞かにはならん。そこで少し待ってろ。
Sure thing. I'll call Hina and tell her we'll be home late. Oh, we can go home together, right?
さあな。お前の協力次第だ。
That'll be no problem then. I'm used to police questioning.
バカ野郎が。
Dad turned around and approached an officer who was talking on a car radio. It's anything like last time, we'll be leaving here in about 5 minutes.
ハルト君、お父さんにはああ言ったけど、本当にこういうのはダメっていつも言ってるでしょ？
I'm sorry for all the trouble, Yumi-sensei. I really do regret having to disobey instructions.
何度その言葉を聞いたか忘れちゃったわよ。かばってあげられるのも限界があるんだから。ああ、ハルト君の内申点引いておこうかな。
Well, you can't do that. I don't see how that follows. Abusing your authority like that isn't playing fair. Not only a colleague of my dad's at Burst, the Bureau for Unregistered Magic Regulation and Suppressive Tactics, kind of national police force, Yumi-sensei is also a powerful caster who teaches at the academy. Wow, I'm really digging this world they've created here. I think the prologue was definitely necessary to get that it's like modern day, but there's also basically a Hogwarts, and everybody knows about magic. It's really cool. I'm indebted to her both publicly and privately, so she really has my respect.
君は優秀な学生だから、波の相手ならどうにかなるでしょう。だけど相手は犯罪者なんだから、追い詰められたら何をするかわからないんだから。
It's kind of like Psychopaths meets like Harry Potter or something.
逃げ道は一つ用意する。退路を断たれた者は思いがけない力を発揮する時がある。
Come to think of it, that passerby had said the same sort of thing. I was a bit busy at the time, so I hadn't paid much attention. but it wasn't really the sort of thing you'd say to a complete stranger, was it? Well, no matter how much I ponder it, with my brain the only conclusion I'm going to be able to reach is, he was kind of a strange guy, wasn't he?
ハルト君話聞いてる？
Yes. I am. I went for your advice, Sensei.
もう次また事件を起こしたらお父さんにきつく叱ってもらうからね。
Understood.
あと君だけ課題を増やします。さまざまな方面から全力で君を追い詰めるから覚悟しといてね。
Understood. As I watched Yumi Sensei walk over to where my dad was, I thought about how I'd probably still do the same thing if I found myself in this situation again.
ちょっとそこのあなた。
Who's this? I don't know. But that's gonna have to do it for this video. I think this is a very, very intriguing visual novel. It says there's like 6 main characters. I think we saw that in the opening movie. Yeah, I absolutely love the world they've created. It's a really high quality visual novel. Whole thing's voiced, apart from you, which is great. Like even like minor characters like your dad. I assume he's kind of a minor character because I assume a lot of it's going to be at school. But I think it's pretty long. And like you saw like how many transitions and like camera movements there were in the battle. I think this is a pretty neat game. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!